Welcome to the Angel Investors Network podcast, the first national angel group founded online in 1997, dedicated to perpetuating free enterprise, capitalism, and supporting the American dream. In addition, Angel Investors Network is the organization behind the powerful Mastermind Investment Club, dedicated to harnessing the philosophy of a mastermind to increase success with their investment portfolio. Laura Rubenstein is a social media and marketing strategist and founder of the Social Buzz Club. On the podcast, Laura brings together successful entrepreneurs to share with you how they grow their business, and you can too. And now, here's your host, Laura Rubenstein.
Welcome to the Angel Investors Network podcast, moving your startup business to the next level. I'm Laura Rubenstein, and I'd like to welcome Eugene Levin, Chief Strategy Officer of SEMRush, to the podcast. Hi, Eugene.
Hi, Laura. It's great to be here.
Great to have you here. And just a little bit of bio so our listeners know today a little bit about you, that after you joined the company SEMRush as Chief Strategy Officer, you helped to quadruple the company revenue and raise over $40 million from Tier 1 investors, which is great. And I'd also like to let our viewers know that Eugene started his venture capitalist career in a small regional firm, and that actually made it onto the Forbes top 10 Russian VC firms in 2013, and then worked at a large global firm, Target Global, before he left to join where you are now, SEMRush. So thank you again for being here. I wanted to jump right in with a question for you about how you even got started in the venture capitalist world.
Yeah, so that's quite a good question, and it was not very straightforward because my background before that was mostly engineering, project management, and I used to be an analyst for some period of time. It was not related to venture capital or any kind of finance in any way. And then my friend started a VC firm with his partners, and they needed someone to help to run the firm because partners do deals, but an analyst and associates actually make things happen. So they needed someone to do all this dirty work. And the problem was it was super young market in the country where we operated. So you could not just go and hire people from the market. There was just nobody to hire. So my friend just approached me and said, "Hey, I need someone to help me with this new firm that I'm building." And I said, "That sounds kind of cool, but I have no experience in this area whatsoever." And he said, "It's better to have someone who I can trust and I know will work hard than to gamble and try to get someone from the market." And in general, I've spent with this firm like roughly 3 years, and I started as analyst and then was promoted to associate, then to partner, after I actually helped the firm to make some money. But it was great experience, and what I've learned is that venture capital, especially seed in early stages, do not necessarily require very, very deep knowledge of finance, to the point where I would say someone with product experience or very good marketing experience would be maybe even better fit than accountant who is kind of from finance background but do not understand how internet companies work. And from this point of view, I probably had quite a good background. I had some experience in analytics, some experience in product management, and some experience in marketing. So I understood businesses in general from different aspects. And everything else I just learned by talking to people from other firms. We had great network of advisors and great partners who taught me a lot. Yeah, and then in the second firm, it was already much easier because I knew all the nuances. And also, I would say in a bigger firm, analytics starts matter much more because companies you invest in have more data. So there's actually something that you can assess.
Nice.
And that was so from this point of view, it was even easier.
So looking back on your journey, were there some pivotal decisions you made that really grew your career and helped to grow those businesses?
Yeah, I mean, I think the pivotal moment was to get out of comfort zone, right, and change your area completely, because at that point, it was a huge gamble. It was a new firm, it was a first-time firm, so partners never had another firm before that, which is very risky for venture capital in general, and I had to put on hold my, other career, knowing that there might be probability that, while go and try to pursue VC career, I may lose skills. So my, career might be irrelevant. Previous career might be irrelevant after that. So I think that was the pivotal moment to make this decision to kind of just give up something that I've spent previous 20-something years working on. So
ever since you joined the venture capitalist world, and now that you're the chief strategy officer at SEMRush, what do you think contributes most to the success you have?
Yeah, that's hard to say. Just to clarify, like, do you mean what contributes most
What
to my
knowledge
personal success? Or okay.
Yeah, well, the company's success, and what knowledge did you gain
Yeah.
that really can help you, that helps you grow this company and give the strategies you do?
Okay. I think that during all previous careers, and we didn't even talk about the part where I left VC firms and built a couple startups, more like lifestyle businesses.
Oh,
That
feel free to
yeah,
add.
yeah, but during all those things and working with many portfolio companies, I learned how to see businesses from very different angles, and I think that's kind of eventually gives you unfair advantage over someone who never had a privilege to look at different types of businesses. So from this point of view, I can look at SEMRush and try to apply things that I've seen with other businesses, even though for someone who have been with, who worked only in search engine marketing industry, might be counterintuitive. So yeah, I think that's kind of what helps a lot to drive really interesting strategy. Because if you look at the market where we operate, I think we are doing many things not the way other people are doing this. Specifically, I think our strategy to build all-in-one solution where you get more than 30 really great point solution quality things on just entry-level plan, I think that's something that was very counterintuitive to many people who we talked to, and everyone I talked to was suggesting that we need to do, a la carte, so people can buy things separately, and we never wanted to do this. And I think eventually that's what made us, biggest company in a very competitive space. But the reason we were not afraid to do this is because we saw this working in many other areas, not necessarily in software as a service area. Like when you bundle many things in one subscription, that kind of increases value of the whole, and helps you get more customers. So you're not properly monetizing every single customer, but your solution as whole is much more attractive to the end customer. And There are many other areas that are using this, from like regular subscription businesses, like offline subscription businesses, to companies like Netflix who are building in-house content to make the value of the whole subscription bigger. Like, could they sell same thing for $10 without their proprietary content? Probably yes, but with this content, because it becomes kind of more of a no-brainer.
Becomes more compelling and grow, because you can't get it anywhere else. It's exclusive, right? That content.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exclusivity is also a part, but I think even if it was just exclusivity is very important for certain people, much less important for some other people, because there is still only 24 hours a day that I can watch Netflix, and not every day, because I have to sleep. They kind of joke that sleep is their biggest competitor. But still, I think that the key value proposition is just getting so much stuff that you cannot even possibly see for a very reasonable fee. Exclusivity is more of the way they're fighting the risk of some content providers cutting them from this content. So they're kind of mitigating this risk. Okay, if we ever have a problem with those guys and they don't give us this content, we'll be fine. I think that's more of a goal.
Gotcha. Yes. So I like that the nitty gritty here. So what now? So what would you say you love most about doing this strategy?
To be honest, I think that the best part of my job is that I have time to think. That's actually what I'm paid to do. If I sit the whole day and don't write any single word, I'm still doing my job. So I think that's kind of the best part, that I can have time to kind of understand what's going on, how we should react to certain things. And this is, from one point of view, a huge responsibility, but from other point of view, there is not that much, day-to-day constant pressure. Unlike, what you have if you're a salesperson, you have quota, you need to hit it. Being in strategy is kind of allows you to think more. And then that's what I like in general, just learn about things, and then make conclusions how we can apply those things in our business.
What do you see in other businesses, some common mistakes that they make when growing in growth phases?
That would highly depend on the stage of the business, because there are like landmark mistakes that people make in different stages. So I'll just go probably from the beginning, right?
Okay.
So the first mistake people make is a misunderstanding of what is product market fit and how to find it. Some people will be searching for it too long before they even launch a product. They kind of miss any financial trajectory because they delay launch. They're not learning from actual users. They're trying to polish something based on very marginal group of users who maybe have like early access, or some kind of opinion leaders or internal group in R&D. And when they finally ready to go to the market, it's just maybe too late, or they're learning that all their concerns were irrelevant, and actually the problem is much, much deeper with something very fundamental that they thought there would be no problem. And I think that's the problem. So the more regular approach that I suggest to do, and that's what we do when we launch new things, get it as fast as possible, assuming it solves the problem it was designed to solve. So you define the problem, and then if you feel that it kind of solves the problem, not necessarily in a perfect way, just in any way, then just launch it and get feedback. and then iterate, so on. Some people even say, like, if you're not ashamed of the product you launch, then you over-engineered it probably. You just spend too much time. It's okay to be ashamed when you launch it first time. You'll have time to polish it later if it works fundamentally, if it solves the problem. So that's probably the first problem we see a lot. The second one is premature scaling. So you feel that you found product market fit. The product solves the problem. So you spend maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 months, and then you say, okay, now I scale it. I think everything is good. I'm going to scale it. And to do this, you may need very significant amount of money. Certain products are very inefficient in their go-to-market strategy. Like anything in enterprise software space, when I say in enterprise software space, I mean something that is tens of thousands of dollars per year. I'm not, talking about something like SEMRush that you can sell online. But if you're in the enterprise software space, then you need sales teams. Salespeople are hard to hire, hard to onboard. You make tons of hiring errors. And if you want to scale quickly, you need to have a lot of salespeople. So that's what we see very often. People have like some early success, then they go raise a bunch of capital, hire a lot of salespeople, just to figure out that sometimes early indication was not enough to actually make a call. So people start churning after 1 year or a year and a half, and that's not something you can learn in 3 months. If your product is designed, to make significant amount of users churn after first year, first 2 years, it's not something you're going to learn very fast. It just requires time to get this knowledge, and then sometimes they figure out that they had early traction within a subset of early adopters who were very, very relevant audience, but they cannot generate traction outside of this relevant audience. And in many cases, when they discover it, it's just already too late. Burned too much cash, hired too much people, and sometimes it's like game over, sometimes not. But that's just second really, really big mistake. And then the third big mistake is when you're already in a growth stage. So you solved all the previous problems. It's scalable. There is product market fit. Then the third big problem that I see a lot is lack of focus. Because if you have something that can get it to 100 million in revenue, that just should be 100% of your time. And some people will too early go and say, okay, we need to diversify. We need to do A, B, and C to minimize risks, to, prove that it can be not just this one thing. So if you feel that your core business is not that big, then yeah, sure, it's okay to scale it to a certain level and focus on other things and keep them kind of as a side project, or maybe at some point they can become main project and your first business becomes kind of cash cow to fund those initiatives. That might be fine, but if you believe that you're doing something right, it's scalable, there is product market fit, then it should be like all you focus on until you get to the point, let's say 100 million in revenue, where yes, at that point it's okay to start diversifying. You kind of proved you have huge business. Now you can go and try to do other things. But before that, if you believe there is a potential, that should be like all your time. That's my opinion. But I've seen many companies just focusing on too many things, not getting anything done, and then losing the core thing in the process.
Keeping the main thing.
Right.
Exactly. So, what is the best advice you've ever received?
Oh, it's hard to say. I had a privilege to work with many, many great people. I guess the best advice I received was not to try change people.
Mm.
And that's, I think, something that saved me a lot of time and helped me to look different in all kind of situations. So when I have to negotiate something, I'm not trying to teach anyone to do anything. I'm instead trying to get in their shoes and see, okay, if I am this person, how this whole situation looks to me.
Mm.
And yeah, this just allowed me to avoid a lot of, let's say, conflicts. Now, on the other hand, that probably cut me from certain opportunities, right? But
I think it's wise advice.
Yeah, but I just feel that it's, even if you have like really best intents, I would not try to change people. It's just too complicated, too much time, very unpredictable results, and in many cases you're the bad guy. You end up being the bad guy. So
if you try to change somebody else,
that's probably yeah. Again, I don't know. I don't know if it's like the best advice, in general. But I think that's something that helped make my life more comfortable in general.
Nice. Well, your wisdom that you've been given, that you've had the opportunity to work with, it obviously shows through. And so I'd love to know what advice you'd like to give to a, rising entrepreneur and venture capital company.
Yeah. So my advice would be always learn. Always just be very, very greedy for knowledge. And that's something that I've learned, that the bigger your company gets, the more growth you have, the harder it is to keep up with the pace. At some points you just find that you're running as fast as you can and you technically just stay in kind of the same place you were. And especially in those kind of moments, you just have to push through and continue learning, continue being better person, better professional, and just never stop learning.
Lovely.
That's my advice.
So in the vein of learning more, and what are you seeing that's working maybe for SEMRush in attracting more business in the marketing sense?
So in a marketing sense, our approach is kind of very, very simple in a way you say it, but it's very hard in a way to follow it. So the in general idea is that you obviously need some kind of high level targets, where you want to be, but you don't necessarily have exact plan, because marketing changes so fast that having any long-term step-by-step plan in most cases makes no sense. So between a target and what you're doing today, we always suggest to set up small 2-week iterations and run experiments, as many experiments as you can. And then whatever works, then you just double down and invest more in it until, economics works. Whatever doesn't work, okay, you've just spent 2 weeks. And then with this mindset, don't be afraid to burn money on certain marketing initiatives, because eventually, ultimately, this is just a cost of getting information. Because something doesn't work is still information. Yes. And you've paid for it. You feel bad because you burned money, but you should not, because you learned something new. which is, okay, this doesn't work, I'll try something else. That's kind of our approach in general. I can talk about many details and how we do this because we do it in a very, very scalable way with very flat structure where we operate as small teams, roughly 6 people, and team is kind of focused on very specific mission. Like we can have email marketing team, they do only email marketing, help other teams to do email marketing. We may have Italian team, like the goal of this team is to drive growth in Italy. So and we operate we have, I think, like 100 people divided into groups of like roughly 6 people in a team, sometimes less, sometimes maybe a little bit more. And every team has their kind of own area, like area of responsibility. And within this area of responsibility, they can do like pretty much whatever they want. They have a target, but we don't tell them how we expect them to reach this target. They're supposed to produce certain number of tests, and by test, try and error, figure out the way to this goal.
Is there a recent win you can share with us? Test that was positive?
I mean, everything is positive.
A test that had some growth results.
So just to clarify, we're kind of very high growth company. So yes, if you're talking like about specific teams, the most of the teams show very strong results. Otherwise, they stop being teams. You don't want to keep people who are not delivering results in a company in general. So people who work still working in our company doing great in general. Recent wins, just specify like in what area is it, do you want me to share something from PR or something from digital marketing, or
sure, digital marketing, PR hacks, and email marketing hacks? Yes. Okay,
so in PR, one of the very effective strategies that we are doing now is kind of data enrichment of the content. So we discover some topics that the journalist would like to cover. We offer them on demand any data they may need to make their point. Like someone, for example, is writing about Brexit, which is hot topic. Everyone wants to write about Brexit. So we will go and say, what people are concerned during this period. Like a lot of people probably concerned about their, if they're from European Union, they may be concerned about their ability to work in UK. So that will produce certain increase in specific searches. We can give you the data to show that the volumes of those searches rises. So you can make your point that Brexit is impacting situation in certain areas with let's say European Union citizens living in UK, and it's fundamentally maybe not the best thing for them to happen. So and with this specific case with Brexit, I think it went to BBC TV. So they actually showed graphs, SEMRush graphs that show that people are getting much more concerned about situation. That's one of the PR cases that I recall, like from top of my head. So what was next? Social media or what?
Digital media. Yeah, sure.
Digital. So in digital, we are now investing much more money in social media advertising, right? And it's very hard to crack for a B2B company to do good performance-based B2B marketing in Facebook. It's just not necessarily designed for it because people don't necessarily have purchase intent. So you have to implement those ads very carefully to kind of drive person through the journey, but because you kind of need to work with people in different stages of funnel and you want to have multiple touch points, it's certainly be extremely hard to track. And then another thing is that sometimes you use formats like video, and people may see the video, but they don't go to your website. So you're not catching clicks. So it's very hard to attribute impact. And one thing we recently did with Facebook, and that's something they like heavily promote for those cases, was conversion lift measurement. It's like incrementality test, where you run the same kind of campaigns. You do the same targeting for two groups. You have control group, and then you have the group where you show ads. And then you measure number of conversions within two groups, knowing that the only difference between groups was if they saw the ad or not. You can kind of define what was the uplift in conversions related to ads that people have seen. And this allows, for example, us to understand the real value of the channel and start investing more, knowing that we can attribute more customers to this channel. That's one of the interesting things. But that's something you can do only if you have really big budgets. That's also one of the problem with those tricks that I'm sharing, because to have your data on the BBC, you have to be SEMRush, right? You cannot do this if you're a 3-month-old company. And to test incrementality, you need very big budgets. I'm not sure. Listeners will leverage those insights. Seems like I'm just bragging. I mean,
well, no, it's great strategies, and it makes you think about, well, what could you do? Is there anything on email marketing side that might be scalable down or up?
So on email marketing, actually, tons of things. But what we encourage now, encourage in a way that like we suggest other people to do, because we tried and we feel it works, is just get rid of templates. So all those nice shiny templates, they are okay for certain types of communication, like newsletters. You probably still won't have them, looking kind of official. But for all other, ways of communication, we suggest to have like a real person who kind of, not like SEMrush team person, but some actual person with a name and identity. And we suggest like no template and just plain text, because people, kind of really, really annoyed with all those templates. They want more genuine conversations. Another thing that we didn't try to the full scale, but I understand that might be very good strategy in future, is to sort of replacing certain email marketing communications with Facebook Messenger communications. It requires a little bit different sign-up funnel, but because Messenger channel is not saturated the way email marketing is saturated, then open rates are just order of magnitude different.
Yeah.
Like the test we tried on a very limited samples suggest 10 times difference in open rates. So virtually like half of people on Messenger will read your message at least. So that's something that you can never achieve with classic email marketing, especially if you're doing just email blast and nothing like personal.
Right. Well, those are great insights and secrets that people can kind of take away and get some ideas from. I really appreciate your wisdom in sharing what's been most effective. Is there what's the greatest marketing challenge you all face now?
So our biggest challenge is kind of function of the strength that we have. So So because we operate with many kind of independent teams, that allows us to try many things simultaneously and learn a lot about market, customers, what works, what doesn't work. The downside of this approach is that people might be not very well synchronized. So it's not like a challenge, it's just kind of evolution. So now we're kind of trying to add additional synchronization layers to connect, to make sure that people who need to know certain information will get it and would be able to use it in their campaigns. And also we are trying to run more campaigns that will involve many teams. So especially on the product side, if we have some kind of product marketing campaign, we want as many teams to be involved. That's I wouldn't call it challenges because we kind of solved them.
You're working on them, yes.
Yeah.
That's great.
But
so is there anything you wish I had asked that you'd like to share today?
That's a tough one. What I wanted to share.
Any piece of advice you want to leave people with?
Yeah, okay. Listen, what I want to share. If you know great people who want to work in a great company, we are hiring. That's probably
there you go. Terrific. Well, that's a great place to end. And I thank you for all your wisdom and for the amount of detail you went into. It's been a really rich conversation, and thank you for taking the time.
Thank you. It was great to be here.
We'll be back with another episode of Angel Investors Network podcast really soon in an iTunes app near you. Bye for now.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.